Hello and welcome to the year 1543. Today on my podcast, Republicans Are Us, we are interviewing whom some call the forefather of astronomy, Nicholas Copernicus. Born in the year 1473, Nicholas was not only known as Copernicus, but as Copernic, changing his last name to the Latin version at the University of Cockerau because Latin was the language used by scholars. Attending the University of Cockerau, Copernicus was exposed to newer ideas in astronomy which excited his passion for astronomy and caused him to study deeper. A few years later, Copernicus studied at the University of Bologna and traveled to Rome, where he lectured on math, took part in church events. Copernicus, tell us more on the story.
I was in Rome when a monumental event took place. I saw a lunar eclipse, which made me want to learn more about eclipses and much more about astronomy.
Why stop there? Can I ask you this question? What is the heliocentric theory?
The heliocentric theory is, instead of putting the Earth at the center of our universe, it is putting the Sun at the center of our universe and changing the order of some of the planets. Like I said before, I began to consider the mobility of Earth and even thought the idea seemed absurd. Nevertheless, I knew that others before me had the freedom to imagine any circles whatsoever for explaining the heavenly phenomenon.
So here's another question. How do you compare the geocentric, Earth-centered model to the heliocentric, Sun-centered model?
I discovered that how in the geocentric theory, not only is the Earth in the center of the universe, but it is also a perfectly rounded universe. Rather than how in the heliocentric theory, the Sun is in the center of the universe, and it is more of an oval-shaped universe rather than a circle-shaped universe in the geocentric theory. Then I also compared on the confusing parts of the geocentric theory, like why the planets were moving backwards. Using mathematics, I figured out that the reason why they're moving backwards was because the Earth was moving forward at a faster pace, which means it is moving and is not stationary at the center of the universe. And I also figured out why the stars figured out they are using mathematics. I figured out that the stars are moving because the Earth is rotating on its axis, which makes the stars appear that they are moving.
So I have another question for you. How was your heliocentric theory received?
Nowadays, if you disagree with the church, you could be tortured, imprisoned, burned at the stake, ripped in half. So I waited till later in life to publish my book, and the publisher of my book added in a part to make it seem like I didn't believe my own theory.
So here's my last question. How do you think your theory inspired future astronomers?
I assume that it was controversial, but I don't know. But because you are from the future, can you please tell me?
Yes, I can. Your heliocentric theory inspired astronomers like Galileo and Johannes Kepler and many more famous astronomers to base their heliocentric models off of your heliocentric model, which we still use now in 2021. Thank you, Copernicus, for allowing me to ask you these questions. And thank you for joining Republicans Are Us.
I was in Rome when a monumental event happened. I saw a lunar eclipse.
Why is the flash on? Why stop there? Let's ask him the questions. Question.
The heliocentric theory is instead of putting the Earth at the center of the
Okay, you got us.
The heliocentric theory, instead of putting the Earth at the center of the universe, like it is in the geocentric theory. Yes, I can. Your heliocentric theory and model of the universe inspired great astronomers like... Crap. Yes, I can. Your theory inspired many astronomers like Johannes Kepler and Galileo. Yes, I can. Your heliocentric model inspired astronomers like Johannes Kepler and Galileo to use your heliocentric model and other...